Good morning, everyone. This is Shanka Poncelet on the Shanks Show on this beautiful morning here in Texas. Unfortunately, also pre-marked with some sad events in Texas. I'm sure you've heard. So we're gonna take a moment and give some silence to have the victims of the shooting in our thoughts. All right. Well, I will say that our topic today is really a continuation of what we spoke about yesterday. And you saw earlier in the intro animation that there was a little unicorn flying away. And the unicorn, as you know, is a being that we know from really stories and your company should be a unicorn. That should be your highest goal so that when potential customers look at your practice as doctors, today we're going to talk about doctors because tonight there's actually a webinar that I have and I want you to sign up for that. So if your potential patient looks at your practice, they need to have the feeling that you are a unicorn within all the options that they have. So, without further ado, Andrea, I know you have a few thoughts about that.
Yeah, I do. So it's exactly as you said, it's a continuation of yesterday. So yesterday we were talking about defining your target market and having that list because you don't want to just you and what you offer is not for everyone, and that's okay. And it's the same with these three characteristics that you have that make you different. So it's the way Gino Wickman describes it is if you had 10 people, 10 competitors lined up against you. You might all share one of these characteristics or maybe even two, but you shouldn't share all three. And you shouldn't do them all the same way. So with doctors, it's the same concept. And I think if first of all, a doctor understands that they are marketing themselves. So they've got to first get that rewiring in the brain, which is something that you talk about tonight about how
Absolutely.
to do that. Then it should be a lot easier to understand why you need to stand out because you have products and services to sell. And your patients, your consumers, need to see what about you that makes you so different that they come to you versus the clinic down the road or the hospital or anywhere else. So, what that means is that you're creating focus. And again, that's a mistake that a lot of people have. They're doing too many sectors, too many markets, too many services, too many products. But you don't want to be all things to all people. It's a game that you're never going to win. And we've even made some changes in our company to where we're not necessarily doing that. And it's okay. It's okay to be laser focused.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one aspect for a physician or clinic or hospital to stand out, to not be part of the noise, is to actually step in front of the camera and show some personality, show the human side of you. People are sick and tired of this formal, sterile environment. No, that is something you can push aside. And by the way, you can still be professional and be a little relaxed and show a little personality. That is totally okay. That is why people will work with you, will
Mhm.
come to see you in your clinic. And that is something we will take a dive deep in tonight. Go to shanks.healthcare. It's blended in here and RSVP so we can have a talk at 6 p.m. Central Time, a live Zoom call. What are some other things, Andrea, that a doctor or a small clinic or even a hospital can use to stand out?
Yeah. So I think that first of all, it starts with being honest. because you don't want to come up with 3 things that make you unique just for like some kind of shtick or for the sake of trying to be different. You actually really want to take a look under the hood and think about what it is that you offer. And and a lot of times you're going to need a little bit of help with that, from more experienced people, marketers. And so what I think of is how a lot of doctors make the mistake of saying like the difference between me and another doctor is that I'm personal. Is it though? I mean, isn't that what everyone, especially if you're an entrepreneurial doctor, isn't that what you're all supposed to be? Like, we know you all spend more time with the patient and you all like take your time being a doctor. But think of two or three and maybe even four and just pick the best of them that is really going to make you stand out. But be honest with yourself. Like if you're not I love one of the doctors that we work with. The way that she did it was very smart because she thought about what everyone says about her, which is that she's very honest and will even go so far as to say, you keep smoking that cigarette, you're going to die, And that I think really does set her apart. Now, maybe you don't want to say blunt and curt as one of your 3 uniques, but you do want to be honest with yourself, get an honest evaluation
Yeah,
from other people, from your customers, from your patients, and see what it really is about you that makes you different and don't just, talk for the sake of talking.
absolutely. And then, of course, the ever complaining pain point that patients have is having to wait so long,
Yeah.
not feeling that there is transparent communication. So those are things you should do right anyways, but so many don't. So
Yeah.
if you make that a point, then that is definitely a differentiator for you. Think
Yeah.
about what was the airline that we saw as an example?
Southwest
Yeah,
Airlines. Yeah,
an
that's a
airline
great
is
example.
supposed to leave on time.
Hmm. Hmm.
However, so many don't do it that they can take it as a differentiator. As a patient in your waiting room, we're not supposed to be sitting there for an entire hour, but a lot of times we do. So if you as a physician can eliminate that, that is going to be very strong.
Yeah, and
Actually,
again, the way that you do it matters too,
absolutely.
because now we even have hospitals they have billboards that tell you the wait time, 15 minutes, da 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 da. Da. It's becoming less and less of a distinguisher. But if you talk about the waiting room, or some DPC docs are even saying the no waiting room, these kinds of things,
Mhm.
that really resonates with your customer, with your, because they understand, okay, so this is what makes them different about this particular part of their process.
Mhm.
And tomorrow we'll talk more about the process, but yeah, I think the Southwest Airlines was a great example. They focus on low fare, on time flights, and having fun. But you're supposed to leave on time, but so many don't do it that they're able to talk about that as one of their 3 things that makes them different.
Yeah. So we can talk more tonight. Yeah, tonight. 3 ways for healthcare professionals to market themselves. Go to shanks.healthcare. That is the actual web address, shanks.healthcare. It's blended in here. And then get the link for the Zoom. We do have another tool that you might consider as a healthcare professional to differentiate yourselves, and that is free market medicine. So we can talk a little bit about that because we have a conference coming up June 2nd. I'm going to blend in that information. And basically, the gist of that is to bring affordable, high quality healthcare to your patients, very often with alternative funding methods. Okay, so we're going to talk more about that June 2nd, another live conference for you to attend. Go to sanantoniofmma.org. And actually, I'm going to play a clip when we're done here. So, by the way, Andrea, we as a healthcare marketing agency, first of all, being a healthcare marketing agency is already a differentiator to many marketing agencies out there, because a lot of them, they just serve anyone that is willing to give them money. So second, we have such a strong online live presence. Who do you know that goes live every morning? That is crazy difficult, folks. It's not easy. Sure, give it a try. It's not easy. We make it look easy, but it isn't.
We're also a one-stop shop.
We're a one-stop shop. We have a lot of talent under one roof, a virtual roof. That's actually another differentiator. We meet every day. We work out of a virtual office. No kidding, in the metaverse, just like in a video game. And we'll actually dedicate a whole show to that once.
We should do it from the metaverse, you know.
That is definitely possible. You'll see our avatars talking.
That would be great.
Yeah. So there's just so many things that we also can bring to the table. And at this point, I think, Andrea, if you have nothing to add, I will show the clip for the meeting with the San Antonio Free Market Medical Association.
All right.
But I will. Do you have something else to add, Andrea? Okay. I will blend in one more time, because that's tonight, 3 easy ways for healthcare professionals to market themselves. By the way, what do you think about this polar light here going on? Differentiator makes it feel all unicorn-like, right? Go to shanks.healthcare. That is the web address, shanks.healthcare, and register for tonight's webinar. It's live on Zoom. You can ask me all your questions, 6 p.m. Central Time. All right. Blending in the video about the FMMA June 2nd. And then it's a wrap for today. Make it a great one. And thanks for tuning in.
It's fascinating to me that these laws were ever passed. They were federally encouraged, so a lot of them are very, very similar from one state to the next. And it's got an R next to it, then you have some formal registration requirement. And I'm probably missing some R's here, but I've found all the ones I could and put them on. I've even got a few question marks because I've seen some documentation in those states that said a registration was required and then couldn't find the official documentation when I went to look.
I like this Heath Ledger quote from when he was playing the Joker when he says, "It's all part of the plan." That's kind of how you find yourself dealing with all this broker terminology that you don't understand. So
I put the quote up there, "Scare him into it," because I heard this from one of my attendings in residency. And, it came up in multiple contexts where they thought a patient should be doing a certain procedure and the patient didn't want to do it. And the decision to not do it seemed irrational to that attending physician and to many others involved in the patient's care.
ERISA plans, health plans, the IRS would call various plans health plans, insurance plans. These are all defined by different people at different levels, and they are not equivalent. Okay, ERISA is defined by the Department of Labor. Your health plan is defined by the IRS, and your insurance.
And that registration is hopefully with the Board of Medicine. That's who you would talk to first.